you do have to go all in. You can't half-ass it. You gotta, if you're gonna
Yeah.
do something that you really love and you want to make it to something you can monetize. Like there's people out here acting like NPCs on TikTok and buying houses.
Yeah.
So you can
no
definitely
bullshit.
do it. Rick James, bitch.
Yeah, and don't forget, fuck Target.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to a podcast for creative people. I'm your host, Christopher Talon, and this week I was talking to one of my favorite artists and tattoo artists, Carlos, aka Los, the artist, Sampson. Carlos is a really nice guy and a fantastic painter who's just more recently, the last few years, gotten into tattooing, and he works over at Cielo Ink in Jenison, Michigan, and that's where we recorded this episode. Shout out to Cielo Ink and JP Cielo for letting us use the space. If you need a good tattoo, go to Cielo Ink. You can ask for Los or get a tattoo from anybody else in there. It's always going to be good work. This time I was talking to Carlos about his art, his journey, and how he became a tattoo artist. And he's done a lot of really cool stuff. He's live painted with the GR Orchestra, all kinds of stuff. Really cool. I'm going to stop talking about it now and let you listen to it. And also, Mike Logan was sitting down with us. So that's who else you heard. Here's Los with a little bit of Mike Logan. I'm here with Carlos Sampson, aka Los the Artist, who is a traditional artist in the painting drawing sense and has moved into the tattoo space here at Cielo Ink with JP Cielo graciously letting us use his space over in Jenison, Michigan. If you're looking for a good tattoo, head that way.
Shout out to JP.
So, all right, Carlos, we met through our friend Mike Logan here. Hi, Mike.
Oh yes, I'm here too. I'm Mike Logan. Hi.
And immediately I was like, well, this is a pretty cool guy. He likes to play video games. He's good at art. He's creative. He's just a friendly guy to be around. So I came to know you as a painter. Can you just tell me kind of, quickly, what got you into art? Were you just a kid that like finger painted and never lost interest and just kept graduating up to the next thing? Or did you like find a class in middle school where a teacher was like, hey, you're really talented, you should put effort into this? What was your story?
Actually, my older brother. He's 6 years older than me. He got into art when I was fairly young. So he would do drawings, and usually it's like some type of anime or cartoon character. And once he would do those drawings, sometimes he wouldn't finish some, and then he would get frustrated like any artist. He'd crumple them up, throw it out to the side, and I used to go in, like when he wasn't in his room, take those out, uncrumple them, try to like finish them, and then I was, little brother stuff, and then I would just start going off of his work, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing my own. Did my own, and then once he started getting into like sports and his football career, he dropped art as intensively, and then I started picking it up more and more, and I started getting to more. Instead of like the traditional like cartooning and like characters and stuff like that, I would just go into realism. And then once I started getting into realism, then I started seeing myself progress, and I was like, okay, I can kind of dabble with this as a hobby, and it just latched on ever since. That was probably when I was like 9 or 10. Once me and my family moved up from Detroit. And it's just stuck with me ever since, and I just kept doing it. I kept getting better, and then all my hobbies started revolving around it.
That's cool that you had that family influence and that family support, because a lot of creatives I talk to kind of, well, I shouldn't say a lot, maybe 50-50 are like, oh yeah, no, I found out when I was in high school or when I was looking for a job and couldn't find anything that made me happy, that I kind of settled into a thing. But it's always sounds like then it's kind of been a part of you, and it's always been encouraged by the people around you. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have my family's probably my number one support group. Obviously, I got friends that support a lot too. More so when I was later on, I started getting a lot better.
Yeah.
But yeah, even like classmates, I used to do like custom cleats, custom gloves, shoes, stuff like that for like the athletes in our school over at East Kentwood High School. And the amount of support I got was amazing. I loved every second of it, to be honest.
Yeah. If you can get in with the shoes, man, that's a
Yeah.
really good way to make some money. You're the third person I've had on the show that did that. Tyler Way got his kind of start into meeting some big names through doing custom shoes, and then Scoob, who we all know, still has a nice steady side business doing shoes, or maybe that's his main business. I don't know. His custom steppers is his Instagram. So yeah. At what point did you start going, okay, my art's pretty good. I think I can turn my paintings, the quote unquote traditional art. When did you start thinking I can make some money doing that?
When I actually started doing, because at first I was just doing paintings just for myself, and then when I started having people ask for custom stuff like cleats or shoes or jackets, jean jackets, stuff like that, hats, then that's when because I kind of hesitant at first because people of my peer that age weren't buying paintings. I know no high schoolers that's very fine work of art right there. I'll have two. No,
we're gonna hang that in the bathroom. Yeah,
that does not happen. So I had to attach it to something that was something that they're already interested in, which was cleats and having something different, or shoes and just having something different, because everyone wanted to be, wanted to stand out in high school. So once I started doing that, then I was like, okay, I can probably somewhat transition to paintings and stuff like that, because that's what I always wanted to do anyway. So, but the shoes were just a medium to try to get me over there.
Yeah. What kind of things have you done not art related before you settled into the career that you're in now?
Oh yeah, I've done a lot of manual labor job, almost every job. As soon as I came out of high school, I was like, okay, I don't know if college is gonna be for me. So if I'm not doing college, then I gotta start working immediately in some type of job where I can have security. And I thought if I can do some type of manual labor job, there's always going to be a demand for that. So I just started working on concrete. I was epoxying garage floors. I was painting. I painted a lot out of high school, since I already knew the process of painting and the kind of paint that you can use in the exterior, interior, whatever. So I started doing houses, and I used to work for 5 different painting companies because they would close down or shut down in the wintertime.
Right. So
I would just hop around and do that, and then just do new build for houses, prepping houses and stuff.
That is interesting though, even though people might not consider that art, that you were able to take something that is in your artistic wheelhouse and apply it to something traditionally considered non-artistic.
Yeah.
So you just couldn't get away from it, huh?
I literally couldn't. It is everywhere I looked, and everything I did, I could find myself connecting it to art somehow. So
when did you become Los the Artist? That's your Instagram handle. But when did you start going, okay, yeah, I am going to start focusing on, traditional type studio art? Once
I started to make some type of little side income, I was like, okay, there's a possibility there. I just have to figure out the pathway to get. I have to connect point A and B together. But now I get a little taste of success with art, which I didn't even fathom that was possible when I was first starting, when I was younger. And once I started getting some orders here and there for certain things, that's when I started to try to run with it. But I kind of...
So how old, sorry if you said it and I missed it, but how old were you when you started kind of going all right, I'm going to really focus on picking up the brush and putting some stuff down every day?
I'd say probably 16.
Okay. So yeah, it
was definitely in high school
still in school, even though like you said, there wasn't really that market for it. You were just called to it.
Yeah, I was doing it for myself at that point, but it was nice to have a couple pieces off to the side just in case. Yeah. But I was majorly doing it for other people.
It probably didn't hurt with the ladies either. Bring them in and say, "Oh, these are just my paintings."
I was about to say that definitely helped a little here and there, especially something artistic or anything that can connect you to a softer side. It definitely, it goes over well.
Sitting here with Mike Logan. What? How old were you when you moved into the spot next to Mike?
Dang. How I was like 22.
Was it
20
2022? Was it before the pandemic?
Oh, I was saying I was talking about my
your
age.
Okay,
Yeah,
it was
what?
2020.
20, yeah. 2020 was because that was we moved in right when as the pandemic was going on, and which was fun as you can imagine.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. All right. I'm going to slide it over to Mike really quick. Mike, when you first got to know Carlos, what were your first impressions of both him as a person, but like I'm sure very soon after meeting him, you realized that he was an artist and saw the things that he was doing. So yeah, kind of give us your first take on a young Carlos as a person and as an artist.
I mean, I met him, like we said, like 5 years ago, give or take. And you had just had your baby. And
He's gorgeous, by the way.
Very, such a good kid, man. I still live above the baby. So luckily every now and then I get to see her. But I just felt like you had such an infectious energy. Like every time I talked to him, he always was really excited about whatever he was about to do.
Yeah.
Like whether it was joining a motorcycle club or mining NFTs or making art or whatever it was, he was always just so exuberant.
Yeah.
And so at first I just started like just buying art from him because I'm just like, oh, this kid's a really talented artist. And I was like, he was painting. I think you were painting houses at the time too. And so I was pretty much just like, I would he'd say something to me like, oh, I'm struggling this week. And so I'd just buy him a canvas and give him $300. I'd just be like, paint me something, bro. So I knew that he was hungry. I knew that he had great work ethic, and I knew that he was extremely talented. So every time I've ever had a chance to help him, I've always done that. And it's easy to help a kid who wants to help himself. Sorry, I keep calling you a kid, you grown ass man. It's easy to help somebody who wants to help themselves, who's kind and who's talented. Like it's that simple. Like you just want to help those kinds of people. And I'm a 38-year-old black man. I've been in entertainment for 11 and a half years, and there wasn't anybody helping me out when I first started. So when I saw he was trying, it would be a disservice as a black man to not help him. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
That's it for me.
Stay black, brother. Yeah. Mike has said before that as one of the things he does, one of his hats, stand-up comedy, that his life reminds him of Seinfeld, where I'm his George and Los is his Kramer.
Definitely living upstairs was like that household was a show. I loved every second of it. It was unconventional, but it was super fun to be around.
Yeah, and knowing a little bit of your combined backgrounds together, Mike was kind of one of the guys who pushed you to start like really like throwing yourself out there with the art, like the art battle and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, we would go out and we'd have like drinks sometimes and to the either Tools or just like a random bar down the street.
Yeah,
and then I always would pick his brain about ideas, like stuff like even like stuff that he had going on, just to see like how I can implement that in my life. Like in his marketing, the marketing ability is crazy.
Mike's a funny guy, but when the things he takes serious, he's very good at.
Yeah,
outside of comedy, marketing, promoting, just like how can I make some money on this? Have you thought about doing this? Like just whipping him off.
The next day Mike. You see him on like Channel 6 just sitting on the couch talking. I was like, what I literally just had drinks with him. How did he get on Channel 6 or 7?
To be fair, most of my life experience is from watching my dad fail at almost everything I tried growing up.
First-hand knowledge of what not to do. So yeah, toot your own horn a little bit. You won art battle, right? First time out?
I'm about to say that. Yeah, I went to Nash. It was whatever's the second from the like the grand, like I think it's like a grand tour, like whatever the final one was.
Yeah, to clarify, he won art battle Grand Rapids.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah,
I won that one for the national one. I didn't make it to the very final, where they fly you out to like Texas, I think, and then you compete for like the very last one, and that's had like the cash prize and everything like that, which was kind of redundant on my end because I tried like a new technique or new like to try to impress judges, and it did not go well, and I was like, I should have just stuck with what I know, but it is what it is, just trial and error. But yeah,
did you at least finish all your paintings that you started?
Yeah.
Okay, because I went to an art battle, and one guy, the very first round, he got eliminated because like he had used up approximately 10% of the canvas and drew like one part of a face, and then like they're like 5 minutes left, and he's like, you just saw the panic set in his face, and he didn't come even close to finishing his painting, and was eliminated not based on the merit of his art, but his ability to follow those guidelines.
Yeah. It's a lot of pressure because once you're up there and they tell you that you have like 10, 15, 20 minutes depending on which round you're on.
Yeah.
It goes by fast. So I just had to when I had my time, I was just breaking down big shapes. So I would paint the whole canvas in like these whatever I'm painting, like big shapes, and then just start breaking them down and just going more into detail.
Was it all jazz style, or did you kind of have an idea like, I'm going to try to do this, I'm going to try to do this, I'm going to try to do this?
Yes, I like as they were talking, like the whole time they were talking and explaining like rules and stuff. Like obviously we all knew what the rules are because we got papers ahead of time for all the contestants. But as they were talking, I was just planning the whole time. I was like, okay, round 1 I'm gonna do this, round 2 I gotta do this, round 3. So they're probably saying something like I might not even known, and I'm just plan out step by step what I'm gonna do in my head.
Yeah,
it was more so like the subject. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna paint on here for this round, but I'm gonna just do this, and this. But yeah, it was definitely nerve wracking. So even the people, I commend even the people that go up there that competed with me, like that. It's no joke.
Yeah, and you've been seen by a lot of people at once in a couple of different venues. Art Battle being one of them, and that's a whole different thing. Trying to create great art on the clock with people just constantly looking over your shoulder and going behind you while you're doing it. But then you also had at least once or 2 times, right, where you've had art at the symphony.
Oh yeah. It was just this past time, which was like last week or 2 weeks ago. It was
you live painted at one of them, right?
Yeah, the very first one. That's when I painted in front of the orchestra. Which when they said that you're going to be painting for Grand Rapids Orchestra, I was like, okay, they're probably gonna have like a camera on me. I expected to be on the big screen, like maybe like backstage or like in the back somewhere. No, they put me behind the conductor. They put me behind the conductor, which is literally in front of everybody. Yeah, and that was kind of terrifying. They was like, okay, you're gonna be on that marker right up there. I was like, okay, and when honestly, when that happened, I was more focused on not tripping because there was a lot of chords. There's so many chords duct taped to the stage, and I had to walk in front of everybody. And there's like people in the rafters of like the theater and everything. And that was the most nerve-wracking part. Was taking like those 6 steps to get to where I needed to be. I hated every moment of that. But once I started painting,
I don't want to look like a dick on stage in front of those people.
Trip in front of you trip in front of like 500 people. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. How did that opportunity come around?
Because I won the national for the art battle.
Oh, okay.
The person that was reaching out to everybody was just gathering winners of the art battle to perform in the orchestra. So just because of that connection, that got me a place and something to do that I would have never have thought I could ever do in my life, to be honest.
Was it I'm just curious. Was it distracting with like an entire symphony just blasting symphonic music into your ears the whole time too, or were you able to kind of like dial in and
this? What you would think so? It honestly helped. To be honest, I think I would probably be more like in shambles if it was dead. If it was quiet, I don't think I could do it. But I'm used to people watching me. I'm used to like an audience of some sort. So I started to get out of that. Kind of a while back, I had a couple of my friends tell me that I probably would need to get out of my shell because I, like any artist or any creative, I was a bit of an introvert. I was a lot of an introvert. Yeah, I was. Yeah, get an MF2 let me just mask up. Exactly. Have a second personality. Why not? Actually, that would have been a really good idea. It's too late now.
You should have had one more conversation with Mike before you went up there.
I was saying, but it's okay.
Luckily, the reason I don't get to mentor Los as much as I used to is because you are so busy all the time, and obviously I'm always busy too. So it's a very good thing that these chances only get to have randomly because you working all the time, bro.
Yeah, I'm saying you. No, you're good. But yeah, Mike is stay. Like I said, he'll be probably here one day, and then like the next day, he'll probably be somewhere in East Africa doing an interview. I'm pretty sure. I'm waiting on it. Just in Dubai with all the princes. But
Gonna be in the Congo doing Mike Logan hits the internet.
Man, shout out to Africa. Africa looks beautiful. I just watched a video on Congo. The Congo looks beautiful.
Yeah, I also would like to visit the motherland one day.
Ooh, Angie. But I gotta go to Japan.
We're all from there.
This is true, actually.
Motherfucking cradle of civilization.
Except for Elon Musk. Despite the fact that he probably definitely has obviously an African birth certificate, I'm convinced aliens just chucked his ass out of the UFO over Africa, and we're like, deal with him.
I'm not opposed to that ideology. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. Okay.
It's the imagery.
Before we get into the tattooing stuff, the last thing I want to talk about with in regards to your painting is kind of your process, you know, when you're not on a stage.
Yeah.
With all that in those high pressure situations, when you're just creating for the sake of I want to make something, are you the kind of guy who waits for inspiration? Are you the kind of guy that goes, you know what, I'm going to get an idea once I start working? What's your kind of your process of creating?
I was just actually talking to the shop owner, JP. Shout out to J Picasso. But I was just talking to him about how my process is for painting. And I honestly, I'll get inspired one day and I'll start on a painting and then I'll just leave it. I'll leave it and just come back like, okay, I'll just wait, let this marinate and just go do something, and I'll come back and I'll just finish and I'll work on it some more. Yeah. And I won't touch that same painting for like another 2 weeks, and I'll keep walking by it, and I literally have just a canvas sitting in my booth right there with just the nose done. Yeah. And it's just sitting there because I procrastinate a lot just because I do feel like I have to be somewhat inspired, or I don't know, it has to catch me. The mood has to catch me. Yeah. But I tried to push myself. But,
will you then have like 3, 4, 5, 6 started paintings?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So because that's the same way that I read books. I'll start reading like 3 or 4 books and see which one like grabs me and goes, no, read me first. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, exactly. Yeah.
You guys have seen my apartment. That's how I write jokes too. I got a whiteboard in my kitchen where I'll start a joke, and then like a month later, maybe I'll be like, "Oh, this is the second part of that joke." Yeah. It might be a creative thing.
You'll be having a conversation, and all of a sudden, a light bulb goes off. I know how to finish it now. Yeah.
He just stops mid-conversation with someone's like, hold that thought, and just runs to his kitchen and jot down on the whiteboard, the infamous whiteboard.
Shut up, I'm working. All right. So then, you'll kind of start something here, start something there, and then as the mood hits, or as a conversation leads to something, or just a random idea comes into your head, and you go, "Oh, I know where to go with that next." Right.
Yeah. Pretty much. I would just once I feel like, okay, I'm like, you know what, mostly Instagram. Instagram is what helps me a lot too, because I'll go on these reels and see like these artists doing like these crazy detailed pieces, because I love realism. So if I see that, and I'd be like, you know what, I think I can pull something like that off, and I'll just go back to what I was working on and just progress further. But yeah, it definitely has to catch me in a good mood, because otherwise I would just skip around. That's why I have so many unfinished sketchbooks in my possession. It's just like, yeah, I don't know, I have a problem with that, but I'm trying to get better.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you have a warm up, like writing in a sketchbook? Because before I write, I was showing JP my terrible art. Before I sit down to write fiction, I'll draw, just because that pulls me into that like creative, meditative, letting things just kind of flow through you mindset. Right. So do you just pick up a brush and go, or do you have kind of like a let me steady my hand, calm my mind kind of a thing that you go through?
Yeah, I would sketch it out on some type of sketchbook or a piece of paper. I kind of sketch out my general idea, But lately, I've just been attacking the canvas directly.
Yeah.
I don't know what made me make that switch, but I just started just drawing. I was like, I don't feel like I'm gonna just skip out, just clear the middleman out, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go straight to the canvas, and I'm gonna just because you don't have to be so particular when you're doing like the setup for paintings. You don't have to be so, you know, just aggressive to it. You just do it nice, loose.
Because you can paint over it,
exactly.
or you can, yeah.
Exactly. So you don't have to be just so like or just so frigid about every little detail when it's in the beginning. But like I was saying about breaking down the shapes, I would just start with like a nice background color and lay out some shapes, the general idea of because everything has a shape. So everything, is made of shapes. So just break those down and I just keep going from there. But yeah, I've been trying to be more lax about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quick question, then we're going to skip into the other part. But I saw one guy at an art battle who was almost performative in the way that he was painting. Like he would spread out some cardboard and then he was like throwing paint into the other paints and like mixing it up real ferociously and then like stepping back. Like what do you think of these like really demonstrative guys? Do you think it's just like part of their style? It's the way that they have to do it, or do you think some people kind of like try to be a little flamboyant to get attention?
I think there are people who kind of exaggerate it just for performative reasons, but that being said, there are definitely I know a couple people that's just how they work. They'll exactly what I mean by when they try to be more loose and stuff like that, they'll like work loosely. They won't be as like aggressive and dramatic about it, but they'll just work loosely and they'll throw paint. They'll use something nearby to soak in paint. I've seen like people use like a bouquet of flowers to soak in paint and just so they can get it on the canvas faster than just like a normal brush.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially a lot of this modern, like the modern art right now that's in a lot of museums, like the performative like aspect of that. I was like, I don't know. This isn't really catching me. Which I'm sure is probably someone that's out there is going to pay millions of dollars for it, but like the splatter on the banana is a very notable one that's just duct tape. I seen someone with like a miniature mic slapping a slab of clay. That was a performance. I'm like, I don't know if I can get into this modern day art. I'm a more traditional like Michelangelo, Van Gogh type of guy for art consuming, but that's just me. Everyone has their own vice. Everyone has their own taste.
Yeah. All right. We are going to move into the ink, but the last thing I promise that I'm going to ask about painting is for the people listening for kind of a little bit of a how-to thing. What would be your advice to people who have got skills and are like, how do I get into shows? How do I get into galleries? How do I get people that can, help me push my art further into the world? How do you propose to people to get those opportunities, meet those people?
I would really stress networking, which I didn't think that was going to be a big part when I was younger. I would think like, I'm going to just make these great pieces of art and then
let my talent carry me all the way to the top.
They're going to find me and just in this dark room, they're going to lift me up by my shirt and just put me into the light. That did not happen like that. Like there's obviously some cases, of people getting found like people will just go into like, I don't know, like their kids' room and they'll see like this crazy piece of art and then they'll promote for them. But there's most of the time you're going to need to network. So I would say meet as many people, even though it sucks because creatives are usually introverted.
Yeah.
But
Mike and I were just talking earlier about how joyless networking is sometimes.
It's terrible. It's awful feeling. It sucks. I really wish I didn't have to talk to as many people as I do, but that's the only way to be honest, especially in a world that is ran by social media and media in general.
Yeah, and you apply for things and how many followers do you have?
Yeah.
It's like, would you like to see my talent?
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, but show us how many followers you have.
Exactly. If you pull out a painting that looks amazing and then they're like, oh man, I'm gonna follow you on Instagram. They pull up your Instagram, there's like 160 followers. They're like, nah. They're like, it's very just ran by the whole world runs on it. Even you see our political leaders and everything are all on social media and everything. So I would say networking. would probably be the best. Same with tattooing, network. Like if you don't have a social media like page or of any kind as a tattoo artist, you're probably not going to last that long unless you're already like a grandfathered in, like you're already established, and then you're now too deep into the game to get rid of. But yeah, just networking is probably being my number one. Yeah, even though it sucks you, but you got to get out that box.
Mike, I'm going to swing it back over to you real quick because I have heard tell of you saying that, at one point Carlos was talking with you and saying like, how can I, get some extra income stream from my art? And you were the one that suggested to him, have you thought about tattooing?
I did. He was tattooing at parties all the time, and he was telling me about it. He's like, oh, yeah, I went to this party and did some tattoos. And I'm like, how much you charging? And you were doing like, what, $20-$50 a tat or something like that?
Pretty much, yeah.
And I was listening to him say this to me, and like, I'm always, like you guys were saying earlier, I'm always thinking business-wise.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, you're leaving money on the table, man. And so I just suggested to him what I was doing at the time, which was like, at the time I was taking like large contracts from like companies and doing a lot of social media work for them and stuff, and then taking that money and putting them into my actual independent comedy career. And I was like, just do that, dude. Like go to a spot at a parlor, get a chair, get some real good money, and then use that money to go into your other dreams and stuff. And then apparently it worked out.
It definitely all worked out.
All right. So before you were like, let me go and like actually set up and do this for real, you had already gotten into tattooing. What got you to pick up the gun in the first place?
It's just the volume of people that just suggested it to me a lot, and then plus, like Mike was saying, I was doing a lot of college parties because a lot of my friends was like, you should, tattoo me, you're good at art, you should probably try to tattoo.
Yeah, because probably a lot of artists have heard, oh, you're good at art, you should do tattoos.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at least once in their life.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay. And then once Mike was talking to me about it, I was like, okay, you know what? I went out and got me like a cheap little Amazon machine.
Yeah. Amazon's Choice tattoo.
Exactly. That's what's engraved in on the side. The machine lights up and everything. But no, that's I went into one of my friends, Alan, went to Ferris, I believe Ferris, the college over in Big Rapids.
Yeah.
And I would just do, tattoos there. And it was like you said, I would just charge like dirt cheap prices. It just get
just
the
enough
experience.
To cover gas. Yeah.
Yeah. And then college students didn't care. And which was the gas getting there, like the ride from Big Rapids is like an hour drive. So it was like, it was terrible. But, I was just getting the experience. So I was like, okay, whatever. And obviously I like tattoo. I didn't want to start off with there, so I tattooed like fruit. I tattooed myself. I did all.
I've heard that people say like a cantaloupe is a good thing to tattoo on or something.
People do like oranges, bananas, cantaloupes. People like anything that you can use as at your disposal in that time when you don't have a lot of money. It's like, okay, sure, I'm gonna just use this seedless grape, I guess. but it was yeah, I once I started doing that, it started to take off. But it was definitely, all these people, and then I even got the chance to tattoo Mike, which was super fun as well. So.
And he brags about it. He's like, I'm not a tattoo guy. I only have one, and I got it from Lowe's.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna get one, you need to get one from Lowe's.
That's.
And I told him I paid him extra to come to my house to do it.
I get the tattoo, but I'm not going nowhere. I'm gonna be comfortable. Damn it.
Yeah. When I podcasted with Mike the first time, I had to come to his house too. But to be fair, you had one working leg at the time.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of opportunities to make people succumb to my comfortability.
So how long would you guess, or if you know offhand, between you getting, your first needle and tattooing bananas and seedless grapes and things before Mike was like, go get a job at a studio?
I was probably, it honestly went by pretty fast. I was tattooing for probably like a few months.
Okay.
Like probably like 4 or 5 months of just like, doing like these little excursions around town, just doing like these little tit for tat tattoos. And after that, then I started to actually take it seriously because I was not taking it seriously.
Well, hold on. How long I'm curious to know too, because a paintbrush, pen and pencils is one thing, but you're talking about something that's going under people's skin. How long does it take you before you were like really comfortable with the needle in your hand?
Actually, it was once I've done like I tattooed on like 3 fake skins and then like a banana. I really did try to do like a grape and then like an orange, and those are like over the course of like a month. I was like, okay, I'm just look up YouTube videos and just see what they are doing and just mimic them.
Yeah.
After that
YouTube
month,
University, man.
yeah, exactly.
It's for real.
You could literally learn how to build a whole house. But I would just after that, I just like, okay, I think I'm comfortable enough. So I know how to. I just carried over my like the skills I already had from painting and art in general, which helped me a lot. And only thing that I needed to learn was the actual machine. Once I learned the machine, that's what I needed to actually pick up on, because everything else I just transferred over, like the ability to like how shading. I know shading would work, like light sources, like what part of the face have light sources, and core shadows and all that good stuff.
And there's different needles too that I've seen just from my experience of getting tattooed, where there's like thin ones, thick ones, ones that have like a couple of different like fanned out things that for shading and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I applied the same knowledge from painting as well. Like, okay, I know a smaller paintbrush to do this, a flat paintbrush to do this, a round paintbrush to do this. Same concept, just a different media. So it's basically just like I don't know how to explain, but it's basically the tools I would use for that. I would just transfer that knowledge over into using a tattoo machine.
So there is maybe not like a direct 1-for-1, but a lot of paintbrush skills transfer over to needle skills.
There's a lot of similarities. Kind of like this analogy might be terrible, but it's kind of like if you were like learning French, but you already have like a second language in like Spanish or something like that. Yeah, see, and like there's a lot of similarities in Spanish and French. There's a lot of similar words. There's a lot of similar like base words that carries over into French, which you would never guess. Exactly. Yeah. And it's everywhere, because I try to be fancy and try to take French in high school. I was like, this is gonna make me different. I'm gonna stand out. Damn it.
He's gonna paint and speak French to the ladies.
It was hard as shit. I was like, the teacher was like, yeah, you can get into French too next year, and then we're gonna go to France and actually speak. And I was like, sounds great. And I've never reapplied to that class ever again. But yeah, it's just similar. You just find a way to make those connections for similarities. But having an art background really helped me get into tattooing pretty fast.
One thing that I have been dying to ask you, because I'm sure you've seen, and most people listening have seen, at least one reel or one TikTok of like oops tattoos, where like somebody gets a Chinese thing and they thought it said honor, but it actually says like banana, or like, sorry, I got banana in my brain still from but or somebody will have something that's just terribly misspelled. If somebody comes into you, that didn't sound right, did it? If somebody comes here to you and says like, I want you to put this on me, and you see that it's clearly like misspelled or something, do you take that upon yourself to be like, are you sure? Because that's not the regular spelling. Okay.
Yeah. Every time I have people, especially with like Roman numerals, I'll have a lot of people double check their Roman numerals.
Yeah.
Same thing with like different languages. I've been getting a lot of people that have been wanting a Hebrew text lately, and I was like, okay, you're gonna have to for sure make sure this is exactly what you wanted to say, because they have like little marks, little asterisk looking marks and stuff like that that can change a whole sentence. Is that Sanskrit or is that? That's what I'm thinking. Is that Sanskrit?
I don't think anybody uses Sanskrit anymore.
I was about to say, is that just?
I think it's just Hebrew.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's like even like those little ticks and tallies and stuff like that. Like I feel like those make a big difference. So I have them double check stuff like that. But yeah, all the time I have people, especially even if it comes to like couples' names, like getting couples' names, that I just kind of try to stay away, or try to convince them to get something that represent each other, because most people already know the unspoken rule that you know, get someone else's name tattooed on you is probably not going to go well.
Yeah.
Kind
of tends to be a jinx. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much like a hex of some type.
You've already given some, but what advice do you give to people who are like, I want to get a tattoo, but I don't know what to get? Like, do you have kind of some things to think about to kind of help you zero in on whatever it is that you're trying to, express on your body permanently?
I would tell people that it doesn't necessarily have to, like, if you're getting a tattoo, like for the first tattoo, okay, I can see like you want something very meaningful. That's, of course, go that route. But if you're a few tattoos in and you're like, okay, I'm gonna think of something else to put like on my arm, but I can't think of anything like meaningful enough to put, like,
because I'm that way too. I'm like, next tattoo I'm gonna get is gonna be here. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be here.
Right, and it doesn't need to, which is my take. It doesn't really need to have like a significance to it, even if it's some type of art that you like or an art style that you like. I mean, you get it. It's your body. It's kind of like, I feel like it's kind of like, it sounds redundant, but like decorating your room, but it's something that you're going to be taking with you, around forever. I mean, unless you get it lasered off, but it's it's your personality, your taste, is your style. So it's kind of like if you were to personalize your room, personalize like your car, put some trinkets, some stickers in your car, stuff like that. Like, I highly doubt that the Boys to Men poster in your room are going to, or me, have a significance to you.
I actually have a Boys to Men tramp stamp.
Oh yeah, I forgot we did that. But it's
always got a big lower back.
Jesus. But no, like, if it's something that you like, I would say, you don't have to be deterred by the stigmatism of like, it has to mean something, it has to do this, has to go where, or like other people, because a lot of people that I get in my chair, they'll tell me something that they would really want to get, but they say like, oh, my mom, my dad, my brother, like my friends would probably think it's stupid or something like that. I'm like, if it's something that you truly like, then I'd say go for it. It doesn't really have to have some type of big holy grail meaning behind it, but if it's it's you, it's your personality. It's
just
your
as long as it's not, if you're the kind of person who gets really excited about things for like a month and then never again.
I would say, I'm gonna get Marvel Rivals logo on my kneecap. Like, all right.
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, just like, have you ever had to tell somebody, I'm sorry, I'm not going to tattoo you? And not because they were drunk or whatever, but where you're just like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. I've had people that want tattoos on crazy parts of the body. I've
their taint?
No, I've definitely had someone question like a like a dick tattoo before, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like on the
on the process.
Well, Carlos would have to hold it in his hand, probably.
My old manager ended up having to, like, he was like, fuck it, I'll just do it, and he like charged him like a $500 like quote unquote handling fee. And and the description was terrible. I guess he had to like wrap it around his finger, like and like go like word. I could see it was a word. So he had to go like letter by letter, and I was like, this sounds horrible.
Can I ask a physical question about that? So like if you're tattooing it when it's soft, it's gonna be different when it's hard, right? Like, it's gonna be a different tattoo, right?
You probably have to. You're probably gonna have to stretch it out a lot. So you're gonna have to when it wraps around your finger, you have to stretch this, get out. That's the only way to ensure that. Yeah, it's like, and which I don't even know how the healing process goes for that. Like, so
How do you wear pants after that?
I don't know how you do anything. How do you use the bathroom? I don't even know.
I was gonna say you get in a cold pool and you get excited and
you're just gonna have to sit in your bed on your back for like the next 3 weeks.
You're gonna have the disclaimer on his Tinder for all the future dates. The ladies might get ink poisoning in their pussy.
Now that probably will work for the crowd that he does not want.
Oh, okay. Some more advice for tattoo getters. what are places that are going to hurt the most, and what are places that are going to take the
yes.
longest to heal?
I will tell you right now, which is one of another artist, a friend of mine told me, um any joint area is
Yeah.
going to be high on like the pain list. So it's
Mm.
going to like when I say joints, obviously like fingers, wrist, elbows, shoulders, hip, knee, ankle, like those are going to be like hot
Shoulders,
spots.
knees, and toes.
Exactly. Those are going to be hot spots off the back. And if you think about any place, and then like if you're not getting in those places, another way to tell is any place that gets the least amount of sun is going to be more painful.
Yeah, that's going to be really sensitive.
Exactly, because your
Interesting.
external, like the external of your body is used to being bombarded by like the elements, the sun,
Yeah.
UV rays, snow. If you think about like
Kind
when
of
it's
hardens, toughens that
exactly
skin a little. Yeah.
like if you're going outside and the wind is blowing, your instincts, your natural instincts, is to put your shoulders up and just have like your back and your shoulders like
Yeah.
take on the brunt of it. But you're not going to just stand out with your chest and your core out, just like bring it on. You're not going to same with like if there's a hot shower. If you're in a hot shower and you turn it too hot, you're gonna immediately like turn around and just like and like let your back take the brunt of it, because like any place that has like a least amount of sun, which will be like inner arm, rib cage,
Yeah.
inner thigh, back of the knee, like
Ooh, back of the knee.
like places like that is
Yeah.
gonna be tender. But that's a good rule of thumb I tell people.
I've got a tattoo that just barely creeps into like just the,
Oh,
the
yeah.
front of my armpit,
Yeah.
not all the way in my armpit, but like
Terrible.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And I actually called the tattoo artist a motherfucker involuntarily, and he's like, "Excuse me." I'm like, "I'm sorry, man. I'm not. I don't mean it at you. I just have to like get my pain
Yeah.
out, so I'm saying cuss words. I'll try
Oh,
not to
yeah.
call you a motherfucker."
Most tattoo artists they'll understand,
Yeah.
because when we get tattoos, a lot of us are babies ourselves. We do not it's not like we just thrive off of tattoos. Be like, yeah, I love tattoos. I get them all the time. Like we hate tattoos equally as well. Like that shit hurts.
I was gonna say you've got one that goes right around
yeah.
from one side of the neck to the other across your throat.
Yeah.
At any point while you were getting that, were you like, "I made a huge mistake"?
Yeah, the ends were on fire. For some reason the like the Adam's apple in the middle wasn't that bad. I don't know. There's just like not as many nerve endings there or something like that. But Mars is was the artist that did my my neck. She has her own studio now. But
Oh, you didn't do that yourself in the mirror?
oh hell no, no, absolutely not. But I I do think it's important for a tattoo artist to at least tattoo themselves once, just to see how how heavy handed they are, like how they control. And plus you can touch up on your skills, or if you want to try like a different style, try it out on yourself first and just see how it goes. But yeah, that's I think the sides of my neck were pretty up there. It was probably like an 8 or 9, I'd say.
Yeah. And I would imagine as far as healing goes, probably the same. Any area where the skin gets like moved and stretched a lot.
Yeah, I just recently did a tattoo that covered a lot of a person's arm, and then her like she had one on the bridge, like not on the ditch of the elbow, but like right next to it, and that one was having trouble healing because anytime she bent her arm, it was like reopen like the wound, or reopen like the scab if it was like during the healing process, and it was just kind of start the healing process all over again. So, but yeah, there's definitely parts of the body that but I would say like if you're getting your first tattoo, arms, legs is gonna be the best ways to go. I would suggest arm.
Yeah, I got my first tattoo on my like right on the thick meat of my shoulder, and that was a good one to start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, not where like the muscles come together, but yeah.
Oh, but yeah, it gets a little tender sometimes in those joints. So I would just, as long as you stay away from joints and then like covered areas.
Yeah,
you'll be good.
All right. Well, I've taken up as much time as I said I was going to of yours. Is there anything else that people need to know about you, about your art, about your tattoos?
I would say that I'm still growing in a sense. So I'm gonna try my best to always break out of whatever box I'm in. So I would say look out for more how do I say this, more activities I'm gonna try to get into. I'm gonna try to branch out. I'm gonna try to go to these festivals, these conventions, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I don't think, because I've only been tattooing for 2 years, so like professionally, so I'm still kind of learning as I go.
Yeah.
So even if I say something, you're just like another artist would be like, well, that doesn't no, because this and this, no. Hey, I'm about to go DM him right now. Like I wouldn't really take this that seriously, but that's just for me being 2 years in. I've seen enough to where I would know, okay, this is good and then this is bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the message to everyone else, I would say, do what you love, and I feel like you can, in anything that you love, you can make into something monetizable. So even if it's like dancing, even if it's like skating, I just seen someone that was a really cool like skater on my Instagram that I follow. He just goes to roller rinks and skate around and do trick stuff. I just seen him skating with Usher and backstage when he's like one of his backup dancers. I was like, oh, okay, well, I think I guess anything's possible, but yeah. So I would just not be afraid to, but you do have to go all in. You can't half-ass it. You gotta, if you're gonna do something that you really love and you want to make it to something you can monetize. Like there's people like the NPCs. There's people out here acting like NPCs on TikTok and buying houses. Yeah. So you can definitely do it.
100%. All right, man. Well, hey, it's been great catching up with you again. Thank you for doing the podcast. Thank you guys for letting us use your space.
Yes.
Cielo Ink in Jenison, Michigan. Come in if you really want to get a nice tattoo. Anybody here can do it right for you, or you can ask specifically for Los the artist.
Yes, sir.
And we'll have all the other information about the tattoo joint here and Carlos and all his social media in the show notes. Carlos, Mike, thank you guys.
Thank you, Reverend Rick James, bitch.
Yeah, and don't forget, fuck Target.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Make sure you check out Los the Artist over at Cielo Ink. Check out Cielo Ink over in Jenison, Michigan. And big shout out to my bestie, Mike Logan. Thanks for sitting down with us and adding a little extra flair to this episode. Love you, buddy. Everybody else, see you next time. Mwah.